Hey guys, today I'm going to go through how to use Tracker to be able to plot your points. And it shouldn't be too long of a video, it's just a little overview to help you do this because I found some nuances today when I was playing around with it. So first off, you need to go through and you need to find your actual document, okay, which I'll just do one moment and then it will be up. So just go into this little open file in the corner and find your picture that you should have saved of your bridge. Okay, so I'm going to use a Sydney Harbour Bridge because you can't use a Sydney Harbour Bridge as one of your options. Now what I've found is that I actually had issues because of memory. Now you can click up here and you can change the memory, but the issue I had was that it was a JPEG and it was too good of quality, so I reduced it to a PNG. Now remember, quality is important on what you're doing. Okay, so this is the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Don't forget to also, this was actually taken by Jason Jewell. Okay, and I found it on Pinterest, so make sure you actually reference that because it's not your photo. And I'll show you how to set this up. So the first thing we're going to do, in this one there's two arches. I'm going to decide to use the top arch here. Alright, now if we zoom in, you can do lots of cool stuff. So up the top here, you have this one here, and as you can see it looks like axis. So if I click on it, you'll notice at the moment it's centered here. I'm going to move that because I want it to be the start of my arch there. Alright, now if I go across to the right, you'll notice that it's not completely level. So what you can do is you can click on this part here and you can drag it to fix that as well. So now my axis is starts here and it continues here and it's nice and level with the actual bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot this. Now the best way to plot it is we go up to new, and we're going to do point of mass. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in here using my scroll wheel and I'm going to pick my point here first. Now what I do is go Control Shift and I use that to select my points. Alright, now here we're plotting it on an axis. I don't want that, I actually want it as a table view. So if you click on this here, it will change that. Now if I wanted to, I could move it so it's on the origin or as you need. You can play with around that as you need there. Now because this is a physics program, it's actually used to do videos. You'll notice that we're actually on time. So what we want to do, alright, is that you can change the time here. And that's how we're going to do it. So first off, so I'm going to click on this one here. I'm actually going to delete this. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my start. Alright, it just gives you your table in the same order. It doesn't matter that much, but I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to click on this here. That's my first point, and you'll notice the time 0, 0. So if I go to the next one, so you click anywhere along this bar, it'll allow me to put another point in. So let's say here. I'm just going to follow the lights for this, but you can make that decision where your arch is, because you can see the different points here, and that's a decision you make. So I'm just teaching you how to plot those points. So all you do is you go to the next bit, so you can plot another point here for another time, and you can see that I've got different points. You can see that time 0, I got my x coordinate, my y coordinate, and you can see it's going up, and that's going up as well. Alright, now this is the best way I found to do it. There might be an easier way, but this way found out to be the easiest. Alright, if you didn't like it, you can move it a little bit. Alright, go to the next one. Now, you're going to notice something in a moment, is that on this bar at the bottom, I'm going to run out of time. Remember, I'm just clicking along, and then I go Control Shift Click, and it's a good way to add a new point. Control Shift Click, left click, Control Shift left click. Now, you'll notice I've actually not finished my arch. I've only got up to here. I've got plenty to go. Okay. So you'll notice that we're running out of time here. If you go up the top here, you can look at the clip. So if you hover over it, it will say clip settings. If I click on this, I will be able to change the time here. So I could reduce the step size. Now that just means it's not every 1 second, or in this case 0.1 second. But I can also just change the end frame to say like 30. Now I have 30 frames or 30 points in. Okay, so we go to the next one and we go across, and we can keep doing this, and if you run out of time, all you need to do is you just need to increase the time in clip settings. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to when this is all done, and I'll show you how to output this. Okay, so if you notice now I've done this, so you've got all of these points here on the right hand side. Okay, you got your X and your Y, and also if I hit play, you'll notice to go through all of the points there. Now how accurate you make them is up to you, because obviously if we zoom in, you'll see that some are in the middle, sorry for that being really glary, and then some are less in the middle, like this one here, and this one here, and this one here. That's your choice on how you move them. So sometimes it's easy as clicking and dragging, and it will move for you. Now remember, the reason it does this is because this is about projectile motion. It's supposed to be watching a video, but we're just using it for still images. There's another thing you can do which is really nifty. What you can do here, I'm not sure how it's going to relate later, is that you can set a calibration stick or a tape. Okay, and we can take it from shift, so it says shift click to mark. We can go from here, and we could go to here. Okay, and you can change the length. Okay, and you can change that as you need. Okay, so you could sit there and you could draw a tape and you could tell this how long it is, and it will change your X values accordingly, and you can do the same with your Y. So you could sit there, and then also we could adjust okay, and in here you can change how many meters that is. So you could sit there and you can make these adjustments, and you could actually calibrate your points so they have the right length. Alright, but I'll let you play with that. Now, that's how we would export this. So if you go to File, Export, Data File. Okay, now this is how I do it. It might not be the best, but I'm going to take all of mass A, which is these bits here. Okay, and I'm going to save them. Now what it does is it saves, you just have to ignore this, bridge data, is it saves it as a notepad. Okay, so what I've done is I've just opened it up in Notepad, and you can see all of these here. Now I don't need the time, but what you can do is you can take all of these values here, and if I open Excel, which I don't. Okay, so what we could do is we can copy all of this, so you could select it all, like this here, and you could simply paste it, and it gives you all of your values here. So a couple of things. First off, I don't want the time, because the time is irrelevant for what we're doing today, because it's a still image. The second thing is if you click on this, you'll notice it's in scientific mode, and you can leave in the scientific you'd like, but I'd like to turn that back into a number, so I have the values there in X and Y. I'm going to leave you there, because that's how you can use Tracker to plot your points, but I hope that's helpful, guys. Thank you.